Reading, it's not a competitive sport. It's a personal, enriching activity rather than something people do to outperform others. There's no Guinness World Record for the most books read, although there is a record for the longest marathon of reading out loud, which is held by Deepak Sharma Bajagain, who read 17 different books over 113 hours, 15 minutes in Kathmandu, Nepal, from 19th of September to 24th of September 2008. Don't do this. Sleep is important. If you don't believe me, read this book, Matthew Walker, Why We Sleep. My name is Jim. This is my channel. Books, reading, and stuff. Why do we read? Why do you read? Let me know in the comments. If we're not reading for school or because our job requires us to read, I'd say we'd read for maybe 3 or 4 reasons. Personal growth, perhaps. Empathy, so we can look into the minds, lives of people different to ourselves. Learning, or purely enjoyment. Turning into a competition, who reads the most, who reads the fastest, or who reads the most difficult books, can erode these values, these intrinsic values in reading. People read at different speeds and for different reasons. A person who reads one book deeply and thoughtfully shouldn't be seen as less of a reader than someone who finishes, say, 100 books in a year. Some readers read without sub-vocalizing, like Steve Donahue. This is the way, if you want to speed read, you don't sub-vocalize, you don't hear a voice in your head reading the words, but most of us sub-vocalize. When reading becomes a race, for example with Goodreads challenges or BookTube TBR pressures, the pleasure of reading may give way to stress, guilt, or burnout. I do put out a TBR each month, but I would be very surprised if I read all the books on my TBR. Last month, April, I had 7 books on my TBR, of which I finished 3. I also read 2 books that weren't on my TBR, and I set a Goodreads target each year. In 2023, I set it to 100 books, a target which I hit, but I found in December it was very stressful when I had 13 books to read, and I was choosing small books deliberately so I could hit the target. This year and last year, I dialed back that target to 72, which is far more comfortable for me. Currently 3 books behind target, and that's fine. Jack of the channel Spread Book Joy put out a great video. Trying to read more made me miserable. Here's how I read joyfully, and I'll link it here. She also made the point that if you're reading just to have read something and not enjoying the process, then something is wrong. Reading challenges are not all bad. They can be encouraging. Structured goals like reading challenges can help people read more and read more diversely, explore new genres. They can be motivational tools, not competitions, depending on how they're approached. And we shouldn't be competing with other people. If we're competing with anyone with our reading, it's competing with ourselves. Book clubs, reading groups, even BookTube content often use reading goals to create community and shared experience, not to rank or shame. In summary, whilst reading can be shaped by public-facing platforms like YouTube and challenges, it remains fundamentally a personal act. Treating it as a competitive sport risks undermining its most important, meaningful aspects: reflection, empathy, and joy. Reading thrives best in an environment of encouragement, curiosity, and inclusivity, not in rivalry. If you read more books than me, that's fine. If I read more books than you, it's not a problem. Let's enjoy our reading. If you enjoyed this video, you give it a thumbs up. This will help me with the YouTube algorithm. And I shall see you on the next video. Goodbye and happy reading.